Hello, today I'm going to show you all my horror DVDs and give you some mini reviews. So I used to have a massive horror film collection. I watch any horror film that comes out at the cinema, I'm there. But I got rid of a lot of them because I wasn't going to rewatch them. So these are the ones that I've decided to keep hold of, and these are ones that I really like. I'm going to start doing a lot more horror film reviews on the channel because I watch them all the time. So let's get straight into it. First up, I have the original Carrie. Absolutely love this. I've read the Stephen King book Carrie. Love it. It's fantastic. I also own Misery, which I love. Love both of them. Carrie is about a bullied young girl who has an extremely religious mother, and Carrie has these telekinetic powers but she doesn't quite know what to do with them, and then she seeks revenge on everyone because something happens on prom night. Love Carrie. Love Misery. I then have Sinister. Sinister is about a man moves into a house and there's all these old video tapes, like reels of film, and he starts playing them and they're all murders that seem to be done by the youngest child in the families. So he turns detective. He is a true crime writer and they have moved to this house because the murders have happened in the house, and when he gets there he finds these tapes, and instead of saying like a normal person to his wife, "I'm sorry, I've moved us here, I'm going to tell you the real reason why this house was so cheap, because there was a murder here," or "I found all these tapes, maybe we should leave," he thinks, no, this will be a great crime book that I can write. So then this kind of child snatcher haunts him. It's a supernatural and I really like it. I think it's very jumpy, very good film. Sinister 2, however, don't go near it. Didn't enjoy it. Sinister 1, very good. Vacancy, my first ever horror film I saw. It's about a couple go and stay in a motel. They then turn on the TV and put a DVD, well, it's not a DVD, it's an old VHS tape, into the thing and play it, and they realise that on the tape what's playing is a murder that's happening in the room they're staying in, and then these masked people, as you can see there, are gonna break into the room and it's all being recorded so people can watch it. It's all very sick. I thought this was good. Again, there's other Vacancies like First Cut and don't go near them. I thought this was good. It's a good thriller. I then have The Silence of the Lambs. I have read the whole Thomas Harris series. Actually, that's a lie. I actually read Thomas Harris, Red Dragon and Silence of the Lambs is a bind up of both books. Red Dragon I think is a very great film, but I think the best one has got to be Silence of the Lambs. It's absolutely fantastic. Oh, Hannibal Lecter, amazing. So you have this girl called Clarice Starling who has to go and interview a cannibal called Hannibal, and he is so psychological and trying to get into her mind, and at the same time there's a case going on and they think Hannibal can help them with the case, and that doesn't sound like it's going to be a good horror, but believe me, it is. It's fantastic. I'll probably film a little bit of it, but near Halloween time we're going to a wine cellar and they've got an event where they're playing Silence of the Lambs down in this wine cellar, and it's going to be amazing. I cannot wait. Silence of the Lamb is my favourite horror film. I absolutely adore it. I think it's fantastic. Quickly about the Thomas Harris series. So Red Dragon is a very great film, Silence of the Lambs, the best film, and Hannibal is also a fantastic film as well. Really enjoyed Hannibal. So there's my reviews of the other one. And this is Stephen King's Carrie here. It's a very short horror book. So if you're looking to get into horror books, I would highly recommend Stephen King. He can waffle on a little bit, but Carrie I think is one of his bests. And Misery, the thing with this book is, I've done a whole video review on this book which I'll link down below, is that in it the writer is writing a story and that's in the book, and then the plot of the actual story is in the book as well. So the bits that he's writing, the character's writing within it, you can skip. You can skip that, that's fine. But Misery is still a very good book. So, let's get back to it. Sleepy Hollow by Tim Burton. This isn't a scary film, it's about a headless horseman. It's got Johnny Depp in it. It's just kind of a chill, a good thrillery chill that I enjoyed. This also, I don't think classes as horror. It's always in the horror section, but I think it's more of like a supernatural, psychological film, and that's Donnie Darko. Absolutely loved it. I then have Trick or Treat. This has got short stories within it. All the stories happen on Halloween night, but they're all by different people who live on the street. So you'll have one story and then they'll walk past a house and the camera will pan to that house and it will go into the next story, and it's just really interesting. Some stories are better than others, but it's just a fun kind of like a short story collection film that all interlink in some way. I thought it was really clever done, so I really enjoyed it. I have, this is one that you either love or you hate, Saw films. You see it's like a hologram thing. This is the complete box set. I'm like a true fan. I think I got this from CFX, which is where you can trade things for other DVDs. I really like the Saw films. Again, some are better than others. So it's about a man called Jigsaw who he kidnaps people and puts them in these human traps. So it's kind of like you've got to cut off your arm or you're gonna die, and it's about the true sacrifice. I think when it started it was kind of, let's see how much gore and guts and blood we can get in it, and that was it. But when you get to the later ones, it gets a lot more about principles and morals, so there's always a reason he's kidnapped people. So my favourite one is in Saw 4. I wanted to tell you which one because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. And you get a husband and wife, and what Saw has done is he's put them back to back and he's put spikes through them, and what the woman has to do is she has to take the spikes physically out of her. But if she takes the spikes out of her, she'll just have small injuries that she can survive. But by removing the spike, because it's through the man in his major arteries, she will kill him. So it's kind of, you've got to free yourself by getting away from him, this man who's you've allowed to beat your child up and he's beat you up. Are you truly gonna free yourself by killing him? There's another Saw film coming out. There's one in here called Saw Final Chapter, so you would think we're done. No, not in the horror world, my friends. There is Saw Legacy coming out, which I'm definitely going to see this year. And last but not least is one that I don't really think is a horror, I think it's more a thriller, and that is Orphan. It's about a couple decide to adopt this girl who is an orphan, and she's not really a girl, there's something wrong with her. So that's all my horror DVDs that I have. If I had to add others to the list, if I had like unlimited money to buy whatever DVDs I wanted, I'd get Martyrs, because I think it's a fantastic film. I'll link my video review. I've done a whole video review with my boyfriend on that film. I truly think that is a fantastic film. I'd add The Babadook, because I think it's a very interesting film. I really enjoyed that. I'd add all of Rob Zombie's films. I love Rob. I love Sherry Moon. I love them. I'd add his films. I love House of a Thousand Corpses. That's probably my favourite one. There are so many horror films that I'd love to own. If we're looking back more in the past, like Halloween, Friday the 13th, those kind of like the golden age of horror, as I like to call it, or Hammer Horror if you were looking much back. There's so many different horror films. So put down below what your favourite horror film is, and if I haven't seen it, then I'll check it out. I recently saw The Orphanage, which is by the same person who did Pan's Labyrinth. I thought it was good. I thought it was kind of magical horror. It wasn't that frightening, but I thought it was good. I've watched the original Rings, The Grudges, all of that stuff. Horror short films I think are really doing well at the moment and need to be promoted more, because people who do horror short films and they do them really well, I want them to do feature length films, but obviously they don't have the funding to do it, so I want us to promote them more so we can have more original horror, because we've got so many Paranormal Activities, Annabelle creation, like how many more films are you going to do in that franchise? The Conjuring, everything's like even It by Stephen King that I am going to go and see. It's a remake. We're in the remake culture. We're in the found footage culture, which we need to just step out of. And I think The Babadook was a great step for that, because it's done so. Seriously, I talk about horror. But I love horror so much. But The Babadook, I really see the woman who did The Babadook. She wrote and directed it, and she used to do short films that used to win film festivals, and people loved. And then she got her shot of doing The Babadook. And look how well The Babadook's done. So it proves that people are doing great horror short films at the moment need funding. But the funding's going, like, Paranormal Activity is so popular, isn't it? And it's so cheap to make. So it's just going to those kind of people. But anyway, I'm going to do more horror film discussions, because I have so many thoughts and feelings about how we can get out of this kind of remake genre and time at the moment. There's so much to talk about when it comes to horror. So I'm going to leave it here before we go on all day, and I'll see you again soon for another video.